with Japan, South Korea, which is still we're still doing that alliance. But the ASEAN Navy also forming cooperation and some form of alliance for quick response if something happened in South China Sea. So this is what happening in the South China Sea with the Chinese aggression. What happening is the cooperation and the alliance between ASEAN nations. This is the positive side. If you think about it, become more cooperative between each other than before. Okay, we have dispute with the Malaysian, we have dispute, border dispute with the Philippines. But in this term, there are no other choice, but we have to unite. We have to form cooperation. And I think we did it for that, so we can have more discussion. Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rizal. I think what stands out from your presentation is that everything is not okay for the South China Sea. But perhaps I would say that it's not business as usual. There is a maritime security in the South China Sea is deteriorating. It's not going better. It's going the opposite to better, right? So perhaps we can open the discussion. We have many hands in the room. We'll start with this gentleman with a yellow and green jacket who has patiently waited to ask a question. Thank you. Please state your name and institution. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Sangat Malapnya. My question is from my observation that from the three presentations that we heard, there is no or almost no mention about the code of conduct. No mention of the code of conduct. Just want to know the view of the speakers on this. I know it's an ongoing process, but probably you have views on this. And the second question probably is to Bapak dari Bakamla. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Admiral Eka.
I wonder if the ASEAN Coast Guard Forum, that's not yet an entirely ASEAN organization, right? Because the members is not all ASEAN. I mean, not all ASEAN is member of it, right?
Well,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Perhaps one more question. Yes. The lady in the back, please. White shirt. So, two questions. ASEAN Coast Guard Forum. Oh, sorry. One is COC, the ongoing process. Perhaps I'll also ask the implementation of the 2002 Declaration of Conduct as well, because the two are parallels. They are not continuation of one another. And then second is the contribution of the ASEAN Coast Guard Forum to maritime security. And we are now waiting for the third question. Yes, may I catch your name?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Yesi. I'm from Universitas Kristen, Indonesia.
Okay.
Actually, my lecturer is here from Kemlu as well. Bapak, selamat siang, Pak. So my question would be directed to Pak Riza. You mentioned that Indonesian Coast Guard had a confrontation with China Coast Guard, but we see that Indonesia never ever claimed that we have like a conflict or anything with China. We always stated that we are known claimant states in the South China Sea. And my question is, do you see that as a, do you think that that's a problem? How do we address South China Sea when we never even stated that we have a problem there. How do you address that? And how do you think that Indonesia's stance right now is correct in handling the CSC, or do you think that we should be more vocal in it, especially after China updated its NDL to 10-9? Thank you.
Okay, so the third question is non-claimant state. I think it's quite different from having no problem or having a claim, right? So distinction can be drawn on that. Perhaps Pak Eka, ya, oke. Jadi dua, tiga boleh. Semuanya boleh.
Thank you, Sana. I will try to respond to the first question. Yes, this why we didn't mention about the product, because it's still on process, and we following the whole of the progress with the in ASEAN mechanism. So we can do anything about that. So we just follow the foreign policy of it. And for the second ICF, yes, in the first and the second ICF meeting, ICF forum meeting in 2022 and 21. Sorry, 2023. We are not all ASEAN member states involving, including Laos and also the time is Myanmar. But last time, I think last June in Davao, we already the third ASEAN Coast Guard Forum. All the ASEAN countries, even two countries at the time is Cambodia. Cambodia is attend the meeting in person, and also Myanmar the time have a representative on that meeting, and also the I think Brunei. Brunei they follow the meeting is by online. So let's say ASEAN Coast Guard Forum, it's deliberately agreeable by the whole ASEAN member state, and hopefully parallel with that one, we also coordinated with the ASEAN Secretariat, National ASEAN Secretariat to have a new sectoral bodies in ASEAN, because we don't see any maritime security sectoral body in ASEAN Secretariat. So hopefully with that kind of sectoral body, ASEAN Coast Guard will be more formal, more official to be one of the activities.
One more point earlier, a follow up from the participant's question on arbitral award of 12 July 2016. I have what is Indonesia's stance on it? We support it, and is Bakamla going to enforce it, since it use it as a basis for its operations?
Well, like I said before, that kind of the international arbitration decision, we support the whole international, but it goes to both parties between Philippine and also Chinese, to how they passing or how they following the kind of decision. Because if we look back, so many decision for the International Court of Justice also not followed by the dispute countries. For example, when the Albany and also in the United Kingdom, when there's some riot there, and also the embassy of the United Kingdom was burned because of the riot, and the International Court of Justice was decided to to order to give some compensation of the but until now, I think it is not following the implementation. So we support all the decision of the international one, but it goes to even Philippine China itself to Okay, in regard of code of conduct, the thing is the Bakamla and other ASEAN Coast Guard try to diffuse the confrontation because this is what Coast Guard do. Coast Guard is not military forces in terms of the Navy. It is Coast Guard is the how to say the one who safeguarding the Indonesian maritime sovereignty when there are intruders coming to the Indonesian sea without permission. It will be the Coast Guard who intervene first. Because when Navy took in charge, the escalation could become escalated into armed conflict. This is what the Coast Guard do. They are law enforcement agency. However, on the other side, the Chinese Coast Guard have their own code of conduct. At the beginning of this year, I think, or at the end of last year, the Chinese government has issued it's not an order or something, but they are authorizing the Chinese Coast Guard to shoot any vessels that come into their territory, that claim territory in the South China Sea. And if it happens, everything should be the escalation will be getting worse and worse. Because if you see, sir, not all Coast Guard all around the world armed with 5 powers. For example, the Coast Guard in the Italy, in the Philippines, they don't have naval power, just like the Chinese Coast Guard or the Turkish Coast Guard or the American Coast Guard. Even Bakamla, we have only like 30 millimeters naval guns, so some from Turkey, yeah, that's it. But the Chinese, they have like 75 millimeters, right? 76 millimeters. It's way bigger than us. So, the kind of conduct, the different kind of conduct the Chinese have, it could jeopardize the security and the safety of the South China Sea, because it seems to me the Chinese government have different perspective how their Coast Guard should act upon. And it's different than our Coast Guard or the Philippines or the Malaysian or any other ASEAN Coast Guard. So this is the problem. We don't have like the same code of conduct that I have. So So that's first question, and the second question is this is very interesting question because we're not foreign countries. The thing is, part of our sea has been claimed by the Chinese government. So we have like different positions than the Philippines and the Brunei and the Malaysians, for instance, which large part of the sea has been claimed by the Chinese, and they also claim their part of the sea is spreading and parts of islands. It depends on the countries. But we Indonesian, we only stated that this North Natuna Sea is our part of our sovereign country, part of our sovereignty. This is what we have to defend, and this is our stand on the South China Sea problem. That's why we only confronting the Chinese vessels within our boundaries, within our CPD, nothing more. As I have mentioned before, the thing is, in our perspective, and in the terms with the Philippines also, both of us are democratic countries. This is what we have to think about. It differs than the Chinese government. The Chinese government decisions, everything is from top to down. It's like it's very communistic way. Even though the Chinese are capitalistic countries right now, but the system government is still very just like the current structure. But on the other hand, Indonesia and Philippines are democratic countries, which we every decision making go through a very delicate process. There are interest groups that we have to deal. There are political parties that we have to deal. Just like Commander Tarela has stated before, all ASEAN countries have bilateral economic cooperation with China. And you can imagine how many Indonesian businessmen have their business with their Chinese counterparts. We have Lipo in Hong Kong. There are a lot of Chinese and Indonesian investments in both countries. If anything happens, the presidents have to hear the Association of Indonesian Businessmen. What to do with China? So we want to work with China. Also, we have to act aggressively against China, because everything we do, it could affect on our business with China. And we all know, as we all Indonesians know, that Indonesian businessmen are very, very powerful politically. So this is also something to consider. We have to consider. So the Chinese could make decision very fast comparing to other democratic countries. So yeah, probably this is problems that we have to solve together. Every one of them are cooperation with other countries. I don't know, and it's still open for discussion and debate.
Pak Fikar,
Would you like to address the question as well?
oh yes.
Thank you. Regarding the third question, CC, I think Bakamla or Navy, Indonesian Navy, following the in line with the Ministry of Defense, also the responsibility for foreign ministry. So, other than we are as a climate state or we are not a climate state, it will not change our, our responsibility, our Bakama responsibility and Indonesian Navy responsibility to guarding the Indonesian waters. Because Indonesia, as you know, we have a strong position based on the UN coast. Our baseline, our base point is final. So we didn't look. It's the perpetrator or the invader is come from Chinese or from any countries. We still doing our task, our responsibility on that water. So we Bakamla and Indonesia Navy have a responsibility under the EZ. So we will doing our responsibility, our task to guarding the waters based on that reference. So based on that, the foreign policy of Indonesia. So we will not, we will do equally to every country who has some, violating the border. The good thing is, if we look at the Pak Reza mentioned about the differences between Navy and also Coast Guard. We have, we call it white power diplomacy. So yes, if we look, if the Navy coming as a first hand to to countering the threat, it will raising will escalate the situation. But it's quite different when the Bakamla or Indonesian Coast Guard following that threat. Because all countries understand about the capacity or the responsibility of the Navy, and they also understand about the capacity and the responsibility of the Coast Guard. So in this case, when some or probably in other countries come up to our waters, when they facing the Coast Guard, that's only meaning that they are already stepping onto the other countries' waters. And they cannot do anything until they stepping in, or they have to stay out still on that line. So that's the message. I prefer to call myself as a Bakamla or as a Navy as a messenger. We don't care that we only have 30 millimeters gun. We're facing the probably more bigger gun we facing, but we do the message to the world that you are stepping in our waters. That's all. Even probably yes, we don't expect the worst in the spirit, but still the message will still do it. Yes. Thank you.
Before we take questions from the floor, maybe there is one slight follow-up question on your last point about patrols and operations. Indonesia has many coordinated patrols with neighboring countries, right? Malaysia, in the Sulawesi Sea, even in with Australia, in the Indian Ocean, right? Now there are questions, given the situation in subjects, perhaps it is time that Indonesia and some of the neighboring countries, right? We are not counting China as a neighbor because we officially do not acknowledge the 9-dash line. So at least with Vietnam, because we have concluded the EZ boundary, and also with Malaysia. So my question is, do we have any plans to have coordinated patrols with our Malaysian and Vietnamese counterparts in the substance?
Thank you. Is the question?
No, me.
Okay, understand it. Yeah. I think you is very short-minded because yes, as when I'm in still in senior staff officer in during headquarters, we have goal to to have a coordinated patrol with the Vietnamese Navy. But that time is still the delimitation is not finished yet. But then I think last year or last year, I think, yeah, the limitation between Indonesia and Vietnam is almost finished, with still
Waiting ratification.
yes,
Yeah, waiting
with
ratification.
one step between Indonesia and Vietnam to ratify the rule. So then I bring that kind of idea to Bakamla when I joined Bakamla since last October. We have the MOU between the Indonesian Coast Guard and also Vietnam Coast Guard, and we plan to have coordinated patrol on that sea. So I think strategically, some country cannot do the coordinated patrol until the border is quite clear to to determine. So if we have a coordinated patrol between two coast guard, we can prolong the presence of assets in that area. So we also parallel of that, we also coordinate with the Indonesian Navy to have the same activities. So yes, the coordinated patrol is quite consume the budget, but then we can coordinate it with another agency. In this case, is the Indonesian Navy, so we can shifting the timing to to maintaining our presence, Indonesian assets and on that area. So hopefully this kind of patrol, let's say from Bakamla or from Navy, would be sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Paika. Now we shift to questions or comments from online participants. If there is any, can you scroll up, please? Scroll up. Oh, okay, there's none. Okay, so now we can have more questions from participant group. There's one gentleman at the back, please. Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Satrio, undergraduate student from University. I think my questions will be more theoretical since I'm a student. So I hear that the Bakamla said that you don't care about our capacity as underwater nations, and perhaps like bringing on 30 millimeter gunboat against a cruiser or maybe a frigate would send a message. But we also know that even behind that the message are quite different. Like the U.S. sending an aircraft carrier to Yemen, that sends a lot more message, and everyone knows. While we using a gunboat probably sends a whole different message. Like China seeing that will probably like, okay, and does what? So what? You can't do shit about us. Pardon my language. And so like, do you think that we as a nation, especially that you have proposed a plan to do a joint patrol, is enough to deter China? Because again, even if you do a joint patrol, ASEAN as a whole, especially those that have claims in South China Sea, they have dispute with each other. I mean, Malaysia and Philippines haven't probably settle their own disputes, especially Vietnam and Philippines. And seeing that the recent events where Putin just and visited Vietnam, there are chances that maybe Vietnam will lean more toward the reactionary bloc rather than joining more against the China aggression. So do you think that we do have the capacity or not? And probably the next one was that I remember there is an ASEAN forum, I kind of forgot the year, but there is a moment where one of the Chinese general asked Marcos Pongong, the current president of the Philippines, which he stated that Philippines and the Southeast Asians should be neutral. And what comes through my mind was that this is an effort of Finlandization, which is something that the Soviet Union has done to Finland and Sweden. And perhaps we can see now in the Europe, Finland and Sweden has been a neutral country ever since the end of the World War II, but now they have left their neutrality to join NATO because they see Ukraine as a neutral country. What does neutrality brings to us? And now the question goes same probably to us. I mean, if China wants us to be neutral, and we should rethink that, should we be neutral? And if we want to be a neutral country, can we defend our neutrality? Can we defend our sovereignty in our own capacity? Or can we just helplessly see the Chinese Coast Guard, probably just not just Coast Guard, but probably the whole Navy coming into our shores? And since we're neutral, the US probably won't came to our back. Do you think that this kind of scenario is workable? Thank you.
Okay, we have one more question from the blog. Okay. Oh, three, sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Bogdan I'm a political security researcher from the Historical CHR. My question is directed to Dr. Lisa. I'm particularly interested in your point about the need to have some form of regional alliance Southeast Asia. Given that we acknowledge countries in Southeast Asia have diverse views when it comes to alliances, either bilaterally, individually, or multilaterally, how feasible do you think it is to have this kind of arrangement present in the region? Or are you looking at more informal arrangements, such as the form of like joint cooperation on security or any other recommendations that we have? Thank you.
Satu lagi yang Mas baju putih. Yeah. Your next question. Yeah. Raise your hand.
Good afternoon. I'm Scurity, Managing Director of from EUR Indonesia. We create a platform with focus in industry exhibition and international seminar about disaster. So, Bakamla is one of the agencies we invite to participate. My simple question is, what is your opinion about unification between Bakamla and KPLP? We know that KPLP is under the General Director of Sea Transportation, that recognized by IMO and has a long history in Coast Guard. What Bakamla has done, because in Indonesia we have the eco-sectoral, many laws and regulation and history between the agencies. Thank you.
Ini kayaknya Pak Riza dulu. Pak Riza.
Yes, thank you. About the regional alliances, yeah, is it feasible? Yeah, it is true that every country that has their own interests, national interests, but Africa within their interest, if there's one thread that can unite all these countries with different interest alliances could be formed. And how visible? Well, this is a very good question because ASEAN is unlike any other organization in the world. Unlike United Nations, which every decision is making is being done by votes, who has the bigger votes and who has the lesser votes. ASEAN is somewhat different because everything has to be done by consensus. See, the thing is, in 2016, during the ASEAN meetings, there has been um, an examples how the Chinese could intervene ASEAN unity. When President Duterte proposed that ASEAN has to challenge the Chinese claim on the South China Sea and uniting ASEAN to condemn China's aggression in the South China Sea, um, Cambodia, Myanmar, and Laos, I believe, they disagree with the Philippines. And we all know because the Chinese has invested heavily in those three countries, not only in the business sector, but also in the infrastructure. And all these three countries need a lot of Chinese money to build their country. So, because of the consensus type of decision making that ASEAN is built upon, so when these three countries disagree with the Philippines, and Duterte was very mad about it at the time, it shows the world that the Chinese has been able to interfere and break up the ASEAN unity. Simple as that. So, is it feasible? Probably yes, but not for the whole ASEAN countries. We could make an alliance with countries such as Vietnam, Philippines. I don't know about Brunei because the Chinese investment in Brunei has been growing, rapidly year by year. And I can say the same thing about Thailand also because even though the Thais have the security agenda within the South China Sea, but the relation with China is higher than before, and there's some. It's very limited to buying Chinese products, but at least they have like some kind of military cooperation with the PLA. But cooperation or alliance within the Philippines, Malaysians, and Vietnamese could be reached. I cannot say that we should hope that we could make an alliance with the whole nation of ASEAN because the Singaporeans also have their own interests. But at least we can form a stronger cooperation with countries that have interest with us. Again, we could not rely, from my own perspective, we cannot always rely on ASEAN. We should rely on our own interests. Sometimes we have to do that. I think that's point of view.
Thank you, Pak Riza. Now we have 4 questions. Oh my God, I'm sorry, there is another one. Another one just pop up from online. Yes, just one. Addressed specifically to you, Admiral. So the first question is on the Coast Guard role in maritime security, Coast Guard, and the role of Coast Guards and navies. Whether Coast Guard involvement is less escalatory than naval involvement. And considering the different sizes between Chinese Coast Guard and the other Southeast Asian Coast Guard, do you think that Chinese Coast Guard involvement is actually not escalated? Second is the question on neutrality. Perhaps just to draw relevance to this topic, we are, Indonesia is a non-claimant state in the South China Sea, but does it mean we have to be neutral? The third question is about the unification or merger between Bakamla and KPSP, whether it is the best way out, to have a single agency multi-task. Finally, the gentleman from can you scroll up? Juan, I think the name is Juan. Yes, Brian Juan Marpau asked about the militarization, increased militarization and securitization in the South China Sea, the building up of bases, monitoring stations, surveillance stations, more patrols, more navy. Do you think that's how's can you scroll down? Yeah, how should Bakamla respond to this trend of militarization and securitization?
Thank you, Mr. President. I think the first question from Mas Satrio terkait dengan message. Yeah. I think it's related also with the information. There's a distinctive distinction between Coast Guard and also Navy, of course. Whitehall diplomacy, we cannot make a comparison with the gunboat diplomacy because yes, Navy is Navy, Coast Guard is Coast Guard. What I meant with when all countries understand about the capacity of the Navy and the capability of the Coast Guard, that Navy can cross the border. When Navy cross the border, that's only mean they have some mission. Even probably defeat some countries or maybe international mission or others. But Coast Guard cannot. Coast Guard will only guard the sovereign until the sovereign's area until the EEZ. Coast Guard cannot cross the border. Is when others country come up with to our borders, when they facing the Coast Guard, that's only sign that they will stepping in the others countries. And it doesn't matter they have a big gun or not, thanks to Rezema, because we received the acceptance of to use the 30 millimeters gun is from the Ministry of Defense, the elected president. Hopefully, yes, I hope that when the inauguration is October, then they will give us the permission to use another a bigger one, because from my opinion, even the Coast Guard is a civilian agency, but Coast Guard is part of the defense. That's why Pak Reza mentioned about when Indonesian Navy asset is limited. And it will be good when we collaborate between, all the agency to defend our waters. When the threat come in, when the Navy is not there and only Coast Guard there, what should we do? Do we have to wait the Navy or we try to avoid that one? No. We will the first hand to anticipate that threat. So based on that reason, we will request to hopefully to the elected president that Coast Guard can use a bigger, gun to use and to install in our ships. That's the message. We don't care about about the this thing of the gun the threat come or in what we have, because the message still deliver. When probably some hopefully not, maybe some Coast Guard ships sinking because of that kind of hard conflict in some area. But the message still, why Coast Guard there, Indonesian Coast Guard there? Because they defend their waters. And the message still there. It's kind of the message. The second, probably, hopefully, it would be also the answering the question. Regarding the joint patrol between ASEAN's Indonesia didn't have, doctrine to have a joint with the, joint operation with the other countries, because so many consequences. We have no alliance with other countries, but in context of joint exercise, yes, but not joint operation or not joint patrol. Even when we prefer to call it coordinated patrol. And the first requirement to do or to have some coordinated patrol, we have finalized the limitation. We cannot coordinate patrol with China. Yes, I agree, because we don't have any order between Indonesia and China. But we can do coordinated patrol with Vietnam, yes. In Malaysia, yes. Even so, in Malacca Strait, we have to we have bilateral coordinated patrol, and also we have Malacca Strait patrol between four ASEAN countries, and also we have trilateral cooperation agreement in Sulawesi between Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines. So Indo-Malfi we call it, and we will follow between three Coast Guard of the country, also between Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia, to have the same coordinated patrol, but we still we try to look at that we still under the CA Indo-Malfi agreement. So that kind of the joint. So we will, Indonesia, I think, will never have a joint patrol. That means joint operations with other countries, except probably in some like the disaster relief, or some operation of maybe counter-terrorism, or maybe some of the others, the others area which it's quite safe to have the impact of quality. So it's still possible to have the joint operation in regarding that area, counter-terrorism, disaster relief, or humanitarian assistance, and so on. And regarding the HCF, sorry, I forgot about the HCF itself. Can you repeat, Pak Satrio? What-
Neutrality.
the neutrality of beings and whatever. Yeah. Well, we can say that we are neutral or not neutral. You know, it will be goes to our our foreign policy. You know, but it's easier for the Navy and also for Coast Guard when we have a responsible to defend our waters, and we have a strong position on that, and we have a strong reference of it. So I think it's easy to implementing that one. So we can implementing that kind of task and that kind of responsibility to ours. But regarding the RTF itself, we didn't try to seek to take a side. Like I said, to solve the problem or to solve the dispute, what should have we do is to sit in the same table and talk. We cannot argue, from the phone. We have to invite them, or we inviting by them. We have to talk in the same table, and let's see what's going on. I think hopefully it will be maybe not answering your patient, but more understanding about what. And now I'm going to Pak Agus in regard the merging of the KPLP and Bakamla based on the rule of 32, right? Let's say Bakamla is the servant, and the servant will be follow what the masters want. Our master is the president. Our master is the governor. We cannot choose this KPLP have not to join with the Bakamla or not have to join with the Bakamla. But we can see the possibility, the positive way or the negative way, right? And if we saw the negative way, well, this is from the different regulation, the different law. But the positive way is if we want to look at the efficiencies of the budget of our Indonesian government. Okay, I will try to give some pictures. In some area, many times there are so many agency assets inside. Even the Navy ships or the Bakamla ships or the SDKP ship and also the KPLP ships. If we look at the rather cross section of that asset, and if we look at the efficiency of the budget, maybe that kind of area is enough. If we Indonesia just send one asset on that area, that means we can save the other's budget to another area to control. But so many times, in the same area, we have so many assets on the same same area. So, one of the best of thing, we try to merging between the KPLP and also the Bakamla deliberately, of course, to getting more efficient organizing the asset, because both of them is the national asset, right? And we do the same goal. We do the same national goal. So why we have to separate it? when you know we do the same way, we do the same destination or to achieve the goal. So yes. Other than that, yes, we just observe. We follow the government, you know, the government policy to follow it. And if we, I think you already also follow that one. The coordination about the rule of the number 32 is already final. So, and the last meeting with the Mentor Fest last, I think June last year, they already talking about the mechanism to merge that kind of you know, two institutions between Mahkamah and Cabinet. Okay, so, thank you.
Thank you. We are running out of time, but actually online there is one question from your colleague from Bapak Aryo Seno. I mean, addressed to all of the speakers. I mean, if you have just one more. Yes. So, Pak Aryo Seno asks whether South China Sea is feasible to become a free zone like Antarctica. So there isn't any states that can make money. Antarcticizing the South China Sea.
All right, thank you. Well, thank you, Mario, for your question. As I understand, Antarctica itself is not free zone. There's Antarctica Treaty, I think, consists of, and they already have their own, you know, their own piece of area to exploit the Antarctica. So is that, you mean about to, you know, South China Seas to be the Antarctica? I don't think so. Because it's so many, you know, other countries' interest. Let's the South China Sea as it is, as free, you know, free movement for all countries, because it will be impact to others, to all of us, when some area cannot maintain the security situation. It will be you know, it's very, the implication for the situation is not good for the economical reason.
Thank you very much. I think there are a lot of points that we can conclude and discuss further. This session, however, is not, we are not here to solve any of the problems. At least we can find some commonalities among the discussions. I do not want to conclude because that is reserved for our chair, Indonesia Sinology Forum, Dr. Johannes Herlianto. He is the founder and chair of Forum Sinology Indonesia, and he obtained his degree in Chinese studies from the University of Indonesia. So Dr. Johannes will deliver the concluding as well as the closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mas Christian. Yeah, I just would like to thank all of us seniors, ladies and gentlemen, our seniors, friends. I would like to close this several stories. First is, you know, on July 31st of 2024, recent developments have occurred, right, in the Philippines. Citing two anonymous Philippine officials, international media reported that a deal between China and the Philippines has been reached as a result of a series of closed-door meetings between diplomats. According to the reports, the two countries agreed to establish mutually acceptable arrangements on the issue of at the second Thomas Sword without conceding either side territorial claim. China also reportedly will allow the Philippines to deliver supplies to its marines on standby at the PRP Sierra Madre, a World War veteran ship that has been there since 1999. This is interesting because it is, if the deal is really reached, it is worth being regarded as an important lesson for both for the Philippines as well as for Southeast Asian countries, other Southeast Asian countries, including Indonesia, in dealing with China. This is because at least in the past decade, China has intentionally applied aggression tactics against other countries in Southeast Asia, especially, and even as we have already discussed, even when the Philippines won in battle, in the legal battle, in the international arbitrations, China actually disregarded. So it is interesting that even when China's unilateral recognition marks by the 90s line was refuted as well, China always claimed or a diamond that most of the South China Sea regions belong to it and continued the aggression tactics in the Southeast Asian EEZ, the Southeast China Sea. And we know that it's not only the Philippines that became the target, but also several other Southeast Asian countries, including Indonesia. Whether we like it or not, we have already become the target a few years ago. So the frequent use of the above gray zone tactics by China has evoked concerns among the countries which may become the target of China's strategy. What should this country do to deter China from conducting the action that could potentially escalate the tension? Or more extremely, can Southeast Asian countries, which are not equal in terms of economic and military power with China, force China to stop its aggressive tactics abroad? So, if the agreement is indeed true and implemented within the Philippines and China, then the answer to that question is yes. And the Philippines has become one of the countries that have effectively and consistently defended themselves against the Chinese aggression strategy. Filipino researchers have already pointed out the details, a strategy pursued by President Marcos. Like just now, Commodore K also already detailed the strategy. We can actually conclude first, like the previous administrations, President Marcos' government continued to send diplomatic notes to protest against China for its behavior, while emphasizing the 2016 International Court of Justice ruling that negated Beijing's claim. Secondly, instead of trying to hide the incident, the Philippine government has blown up the incident in their media, and as a result, the government has gained support from the Filipino people to act decisively against China's strategy to undermine the Philippine sovereign rights in the South China Sea. These are actually some of the details by some Filipino scholars. And then thirdly, the Philippines is making significant efforts to strengthen its defense capacity, while still emphasizing that its force will only be used for self-defense and not for provocative purposes. And finally, the Philippines has built various defense cooperation with other parties, including with the countries outside the region. In our view, in addition to the above strategies that has been written by some scholars recently, we have to also appreciate the Philippine stance to prioritize handling the issue of sovereignty despite potentially receiving economic punishment from China. Uh, and of course, what the Philippines has done and the results achieved so far are important to be regarded as a lesson for other Southeast Asian countries, including Indonesia. But in fact, Asian countries need to increase intra-cooperation between Asian countries themselves, like we have discussed, while each of us keep on strengthening our defense capacity. Thus, the effort of Asian countries to prevent China from very aggressive actions in Southeast Asian region no longer rely on parties outside the region, like Dr. Reza already mentioned, but also rely on solidarity among Asian countries themselves, combined with the public support of each country. And hopefully, Indonesia and the Philippines can become pioneers for more solid cooperation between these Asian countries. Finally, on behalf of the Forum Security Indonesia, I would like to express our gratitude to Commodore J. Terera from the Philippine Coast Guard, to Laksamana Pertama Bapak Eka Satari, to Dr. Muhammad Riza Widyasana, and also to Dr. Ahmad Khairul Umam from the Paramaribo University, and also to Mr. Ristian Adriani Subianto from the Department of Fire Army of Indonesia, and also to my best friend, Mr. Muhammad Iksan from the Paramarina Public Policy Institute, and to everyone that has made this discussion possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's give applause once more time. Thank you to our distinguished speakers on giving each perspective of Indonesia and Philippines regarding China and maritime security in the South China Sea. Also to our honorable moderator, Mr. Rizdian, for moderating our discussion session today. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Paramarina Public Policy Institute and Forum Sinology Indonesia, we would like to say thank you for your participation in our public discussions today, in person or virtually through our Zoom and YouTube channel. Look forward to our next event by following FSC Instagram at Sinoforum. And also, before ending our today's event, I would like to invite all of you to our Sobat Forum together, as we will have a documentation session. So I will yield the time to our documentation committee.
Recording stopped.
Sini aja.